So I made a new page because we were going to run out of stuff. My images turned out
Nice.
kind of not great. I don't know why they turned out like that. I rendered them at really high resolution. I think when they're being resized, they don't look good. So I need to do them at a smaller size, but whatever. We got something to work from here.
Awesome.
Okay, and I think we stopped somewhere in here last time. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was here. It's right here.
We still had a grammar question though for the previous sentence.
Whoa!
I'm going to derail it in minute 1.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Because that's what we do. No, we basically said, so Tehuti said to him, what was it? Ne you in
Aurelio, there's something with your microphone. Is everyone else hearing this?
Oh yeah.
Okay, it turns every like 3 seconds, it turns into like a roar, like you're screaming down a tunnel.
Yo, that's bad. I don't know what to do about that. Hang on.
If you're not like, if it's not in a weird position or something that could cause it to be, you know, knocked around, there's not much you can do about it. We'll just see if it keeps happening.
It's just a normal laptop mic. Can you hear me now, or is it still bad?
Yeah, no, it sounds fine.
Okay, I moved it closer. Maybe that helps. So basically, we said, shall we not find out the truth or something, or the lie, or the whatever Gerik was?
The falsehood.
The falsehood.
Or the false one, if we're asking about the two contenders.
True, good point.
So it could be like the pretender. I think someone translated last time the pretender.
Yeah.
Right. That was nice. And then the next sentence was, or the second part of the sentence was, ist ire dit or di ta iaut in, well, Osiris, right? Chereset, with the sun being present. And we didn't resolve the ire dit before we finished last time.
Oh.
And I found something really interesting. I mean, we were discussing several different things. Is it a relative, or could it maybe be a compound verb form? Think ere in Coptic. And if you look in John Nigol 65, I think, things that can come after ire, there's something really interesting there. Hang on, what was the number again? I had that in the advanced chat. Bear with me.
Should I go to that page in Churning and Grow?
Yes, let's do that. It's probably the best.
Okay, I can pull that up really quick.
And then look up the chapter number in the meantime.
What am I looking for here? Okay, you said page 65, things that can come after.
Actually, chapter 61.5.1. I misremembered. So
Chapter
almost
61.5.1.
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
That's almost at the end. Page 556. There you go.
1.5.1.
So it has verbal formations introduced by ist. Okay, that's great. That's what we're looking for. First one, something with bu. Well, that's not what that is. Let's look at B. The emphatic iref irtif formation.
Iri 2, though. Do we have Iri 2?
Nope, there's an...
That's the thing that's...
Let's look at the text. I don't think there is a T in there. Let's see.
It's definitely a nominalizer of some sort, right? The Iri. So it's like what is done is giving the office of Osiris to Set. Somewhere we derive it from that.
It could be a tool. If you look at the hieratic, I mean, the R under the I, the R and the T look almost the same. I would have read it as an R, just like the transcriber, but with a bit of goodwill, this could be a T too.
Yeah, it's not too far. That's possible. Is it normal to see ear written just the I and then two?
Should there be an R somewhere, you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, let's look back at these examples. This is our best source to go on for right now. Always an R. What about that? There's that hieratic, sorry, the line by line version of it.
He has it the same as Gardner, I believe.
Is it written the same way?
I think so. We put it up. I think so, though.
What's the question? Actually, I didn't get it.
Like, what is this Is to Iiri? I'm just missing the page.
Okay.
Here. Oh, he's
Prefix maybe.
puts in an N.
Ir.
Look, are we to do giving the office? That's his solution.
Which really is not what's in the text, though. It's either an R or a T followed by a W. There's no N.
Yeah, there's no N.
Now, wait a sec. Did Johnny actually say there has to be? Yeah, he called it the Erie F Irtef formation. Does there have to be a 2 in it?
There needs to be some kind of subject of this verb. Even if it is like this, the whatever form, the emphatic form or the relative form or whatever, it has to have a subject still. And what we have is a missing subject. So the ways of working that out are to, I don't know, we kind of have to assume the addition of a subject.
I see the problem. Yep, gotcha.
And then it can be whatever you want, really. If we're going to assume that the scribe left something out, because really we need something here, then it's, yeah, it's kind of reader's choice. Just assume there's like something missing here, some kind of subject. It could be F, it could be 2, it could be N. In whatever case, it's, look, are we going to give the office of Osiris to Seth while his son Horus stands or exists? And that's the meaning. But as to, is it, look, are we gonna give? Look, is he gonna give? Look, is one gonna give? Impossible to know. Something's got to be missing there.
And it couldn't be just WU for plural without plural strokes, right? That would be highly unusual.
Yeah, that would be weird.
Okay. All right. I thought I had a solution, but I realized it's still a mystery because we don't know what the subject is. I kind of like the idea of having some kind of Coptic-like ere in there, already halfway to Coptic.
Except that there's not a noun after it.
Right. Yeah.
And then we're missing a verb, basically.
Okay.
Which can happen. I mean, you do have sentences that leave off where you kind of like assume the verb. That happens, but who knows? Doesn't quite work according to the rules that we know based on other things that we've seen. So there's definitely some kind of, there's just a little bit of weirdness in here that we can't quite account for. Luckily, it's not really a huge problem, just because we get what he's saying. Like, are we going to give the office of Osiris to Seth while his son Horus is present?
Right.
Okay.
By the way, is my audio back to normal or am I still?
It is. It hasn't done the crazy thing again since then. So yeah, just one of those things. Who wants to read this one, the next one?
Okay, I can try.
All right. Do or do not, Mustafa.
Shit.
I scared him away. Oh no, I didn't mean to.
Now he does not.
I'm like, all right, then I'm out of here.
Where'd he go?
Sorry, my disturbance from my little sister.
Hi, little
Uh-uh.
sis. It's okay.
Yeah, God damn it. It's actually not little. It's high. It's nice to go, but it is act like but sometimes little.
Yeah, don't we all?
Which line? It's 12 or the manuscript second page.
Starting
Okay.
here. Still first page.
Aha, and let me. Aha and pa, pa ra.
Yep.
Her akhti.
Yep.
Her akhti. Then kandat. Ikar. Sepi. Iset. Actually, it is the sentence. It is complete there
Yeah.
in my sense. Then the ra, ray. Actually, it is rehorahti.
Yeah. Pray Harakti.
Then the rehorahti. What can that? Let me check. I've seen that, but
It's okay. can check.
means a furious anger.
Yep.
Then rehorahti is angry to Ikar actually means good accent, but
Yeah.
as I remember, you just said sometimes means some so many or means so many. Or
Like very much, a lot.
very much.
Yeah. So
Then
then
Rehorakti angered so much.
yeah. So
He
much.
said is to ib and pa ra is to is actually it is particle what's untranslatable as I remember.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Just introducing the sentence, like look.
Yeah. To means impersonal pronoun.
It doesn't have to. It can just be east to.
Okay.
This can be the whole particle, east to.
Okay. I get it. And heart of the Ra.
Ray.
The Ray. Whatever. Then the sentence actually next plate maybe.
Yeah.
Erdiet tayadet tayaut
Yaut.
en sutek a pehti pehti tu.
That's part of Pehti.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pehti sa nut.
Yeah.
Then means was giving the yaut. Yaut means something like provision or
Position.
actually not office.
Office.
Yeah, office. It was the heart of actually in this part in this context heart it means not heart. It is something like brain or just mind or something like that.
Yeah. You could even say wish in this case.
Yeah.
The wish of prey.
The wish of the ray was giving
Was to give. It's future,
was to
right?
give
Was
was to
toward
give,
giving.
was toward giving the office to set
Yeah.
Pehdi.
Mhm.
Actually it is uh, is adjective. Pehdi.
Yeah.
It is also adjective.
Not an adjective. It's a noun.
Yeah, but it is connected with the
Mhm.
Something like great strength, great strength. As I remember, Pehti means something like strength.
Do you remember seeing this before? The Nefer hair construction?
Yeah, I've seen that.
It's like beautiful of face. So the one who has a beautiful face, basically. So Pehti.
Then something, the one who strength is great.
Yeah, the one whose strength is great. It's an epithet of Set, right? So great of strength, or the one whose strength is great.
Yeah. Then the heart of mind of the ray was to give the office to set one who one who great strength, one who has great strength. Then is son of Nut.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
So it's another epithet of Set, right? He's great of strength and he is the son of Nut. And he's just given both of those epithets pretty often when he's mentioned. So Is, the wish of prey was to give the office of Set, great of strength. I'm sorry, give the office to Set, great of strength, son of Nut. And Claudia, you had a question?
Yes, thank you. At the end, the last line of the first page, the very last two signs, is that Rei or Rei Horakti?
It's just Ray.
Just, and what is this sign? The Falcon on a standard.
That's what it is.
It is a determinative.
Yeah, and it's
actually triliteral.
Okay. Sorry.
Actually, it is a triliteral.
Is it? What is it?
Achet,
What is?
as I remember, means something like achet.
Wait, I thought we were talking about this one.
Yeah, that was my question.
Okay,
Okay.
just achti.
Okay, thank you.
I think it is
a generic New Kingdom God determinative,
yeah.
as opposed to the flag on the pole.
Yeah, you're thinking of this versus this kind of thing.
That would explain what it shows next after Set side.
Right. It's everywhere, after all gods.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And you know, the frequency with which it appears, and also like the reliability of its appearance, you know, it always appears after the name of a god or after something divine or whatever. That actually relates to how simplified the hieratic form is, because there's this direct correlation. I've talked about this before. I wrote about it. I think I showed it to y'all. Like there's this very obvious correlation between information content in context and how abbreviated a hieratic sign is. So for this one, we get this kind of thing, just basically nothing, because it's just being used everywhere. So you know to expect it. It doesn't add that much information, so you can just abbreviate and people will get it. Aaron, question.
Yeah, can we talk about the name Per Harakti? Like, is that an epithet or is that a god's name? Because there's kind of a lot going on in that name.
Yeah, both. And there is a lot going on here. Claudia, I was just talking to you about the false duels, and here we have one. So Pre Harakti, which I would write like this.
Pray.
Yes, Pre. So once we get to the New Kingdom, his name is very reliably Pre, and remains Pre forever after.
Weird.
You'll get used to it.
Okay.
Just call him Pre.
It is just because of the pa or something.
Yeah. Yeah, his
Okay.
name is the Sun. You know, like I feel like there have been some musicians whose name is like the something. And you're like, oh yeah, this is the, it sounds like almost like a pro wrestler or something. Like this is
The Capri,
the what?
the Beatles.
Oh, Jeopardy. I picture like
Cool.
like The Rock. He is the Rock.
The Edge.
Not
Rock,
the Edge.
yes,
What is the Edge?
Rock.
Is that a wrestler
The
too?
down.
No, from you too.
Oh, from U2. He's called the Edge. Oh, okay.
God, am I
That's-
that old?
No. I mean, I've listened to U2, and I really like some U2 songs, but I don't know the names of the members except for Bono, because you know,
Of course.
his ego precedes him. All
So
right.
this is the son of Horus of the two horizons. Like, what does it actually mean?
Yeah, so it's a little confusing, especially when you get that duel in there. It's a false duel. So his name is the Sun Horus. Oh wait, no, I wrote it wrong. I want to write it a very specific way. His name is the Sun Horizontal Horus.
Whoa.
Horizontal horse.
So the achti
yeah.
part is an adjective. It's a nisba from achet, meaning
Oh,
horizon. So it's the horizontal one.
no shit.
Horizontal.
Horizontal. I love it. He belongs to the horizon, so he's
That's
horizontal.
Amazing.
Yeah.
The Sun Horizontal Horus. This is the name of my indie rock band, and you can't have it.
Horizontal horse.
Yeah. And that's really it. And so there's this understanding that like, so the Sun, who is kind of like, he's really like a package of deities. You know, that's so often the case with Egyptian deities. He takes different forms throughout the day. So he's, I think he's Hepri in the morning. Then he's whatever. What is he at noon? Just Ray, I think. I can't remember. And then he's like Horus in the evening.
Actually, not Horus. Horus just a divine, royal symbol of the sun.
He is that, but he's also like the sun becomes him, or he is the sun at some point. And then at night in the netherworld, he's like a ram for some reason.
Is he Atum in the evening?
Oh yeah.
Some people think he's a ram at night because ram is pronounced ba, and then ba.
It's like the ba of the sun.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it is also connected with the Amun, because Ram also connection with Amun Ray, Amun.
And these connections are all kind of like loose and free to move at any time. So that's also why you can't really pen these things down. You can't say this god is definitely this and that god is definitely that, because it's like, oh, it turns out they're actually one person. So, you know, what do you do with that? And it's like, well, they're two, but they're also one at the same time. I mean, it's almost like in the movie Fight Club, where there's like Ed Norton and Brad Pitt, and it's like, which one is Tyler Durden? And spoilers for Fight Club.
I'll just say this needs a massive spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't watched the movie, if such a person exists.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anyone who hasn't seen Fight
To be
Club.
honest, I heard and I've seen so much, but I didn't get fully watch.
Okay, well,
I think you get a
know.
free pass on spoilers though after it's been like 2 decades since the movie
Yeah.
came out.
I
Yeah.
hope so.
Yeah. Darth Vader is Luke's
I
father.
know almost,
Spoiler.
yeah, I know almost half of the film because of the other films reference or something like that.
Yeah. I don't believe that spoilers actually matter. I think that's just like, I think that's just kind of a game that we play. Also, the whole idea of like making people not talk about spoilers was invented by Harvey Weinstein, by the way, just FYI.
Ew.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
he wanted people to shut up about a lot of things, I guess.
Yeah, right, exactly. That was just his way of dealing with things. But it started with the Crying Game. I think he really was insistent that people not talk about that movie, and then it kind of became like a cultural meme.
Huh.
So yeah, so spoilers for Fight Club, I guess, if you know, but it's been 20 years since that movie came out, so you might want to get caught up on your viewing.
Is the Horizon thing a dual because there's 2 names before it, or?
No, good question. Okay, it's a dual because historically, what's the dual form of the word achet?
Achti,
Achti.
because it is feminine.
Yeah. So if you make a nisba of that, if you make a dual of that word, it's identical in writing to the nisba. So it's a way of writing a nisba in kind of a clever way, called a false dual. This is an official term for something that regularly happens, false dual.
But it's
Then
also
we can say it is still debateful. Then means something is 2 because actually there is no distinction of the meaning.
Not really, no. It could be Horus of the 2 horizons, sure. Or horizontal Horus. Take your
yeah,
pick.
because
I
there
prefer
is 2
horizontal Horus.
horizon. Actually, there's actually 2 horizon. Yeah.
Yeah.
East and west.
I think he is sometimes translated that way too. You'll see it translated. Horakti means Horus of the 2 horizons. I've heard that before. Kevin, you have a question?
Oh, I was just going to say the same thing, that there's 2 horizons, and sometimes it does show like when it abbreviates that name, it just shows 2 lands.
That still doesn't guarantee that it's not a nisba, because that does happen. We have cases where it very clearly is a nisba and they use the dual to write it. So that false duals do exist. Whether this is one, I suppose, is open to debate, because it's really hard to tell whether it's just dual or false dual.
It also kind of, I mean, just like as far as myth goes, it kind of like being associated with the horizon is kind of where this world and the other world touches, which is also a royal thing, you know, the divine in the human type thing. I don't know.
It does. And there's a lot of things in Egyptian mythology that sort of connect, like our world and the afterlife, and then this connection between the world of humans and the world of gods. So yeah, the afterlife is very much the world of the gods, even though humans go there. So you kind of have it being perceived as this divine world. And there's, there's this sort of celebration of liminality with in Egyptian religion all over the place, but especially in a name like this, and in the emphasis on the Achet. That's really a big topic. Like temples. Aurelio.
Oh, no, sorry, I didn't want to cut. Was it Kevin just now? I think I'm cutting somebody off.
Nope, go ahead.
Okay, no, just one minor note. Interesting that both the house and the bird on a stick is doubled at the end of. That's nice. And I guess probably everybody caught that I was talking rubbish before when I said nature was a determinative, which I think it never is actually. I just made that up in my head and realized it was wrong as I was saying it.
I'm sorry, I missed it.
The predecessor of the bird on the stick would just be like a seated god, right? It would never be the flag. I just made that up.
Oh, of this, like what this sign is? Would it be the seated god like this one?
Yeah, exactly. That would be, I guess, the older way instead of the bird on a stick. If you're talking Old Kingdom, New Kingdom, if you wanted to point out a divine name. I said a moment ago you would use the nature flag, but I don't think you ever do that. That's always the word God itself. It's not a dingier kind of determinative like in Sumerian.
Yeah, no, I don't think it is. I think it's usually it's a logogram.
Dinger has too many meanings, but actually it is just a determinative in this context and in this.
And I think that's where I made that wrong connection in my head. So just want to point that out for the video in case anybody comes up with what rubbish I'm talking.
We did
Someone's
find
gonna comment on the video like that Aurelio character mentioned the sign 042 when he should have mentioned the sign A40.
Here you go.
Digir utu urutulna.
Let the record state it clearly. Okay, I'm gonna shut up.
we did find it a couple lines up where it was being used as a suffix pronoun.
That, yes.
Did we find that? Yeah.
With his hand. Yep, that's exactly it, I think. Yep.
I think it's my
Yeah,
hand.
that direction.
Yeah, my hand. Yep.
Just like the old seated god, you can do that too, I think.
Yeah,
So,
you can. It's the seated god is really the predecessor of the falcon on a stick. But I didn't notice at the time that you said that, and that it's not exactly correct. It's fine.
completely wrong. By the way, may I point out the beautiful calligraphy of the first line that we have on the screen? I mean, both the Seth animal and the snake there. It's just superb, I think.
I love the budget sign. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
The scribe got really into it.
The scribe had fun with that. You can tell if you just look at it. Also, the Seth animal, like the way
The
it's written.
Seth is beautiful. I mean, it's adorable.
Yeah. So cute.
He looks like a puppy dog, even though he's not.
Anteater.
Yep.
Yeah, anteater, most likely, in my opinion. Or painted wolf. Painted wolf is a good candidate. Let's see.
Still
Oh boy.
unidentifiable.
What did I do? But the painted wolf doesn't have a proboscis.
No,
Whatever that word is.
but we could pretend.
And the ears are so round. I feel like Seth's ears are more,
Look at these Sethian ears.
but they're round, like big old, I don't even know.
Look
From
like
the
a
front.
hyena.
I mean,
From the
those are
side.
They
made-
look like a.
Way cuter than a hyena. That's what I see.
What is the Coptic version of it? Huite?
Now we're gonna.
No, let's not even go in that direction.
Painted wolf. I don't know.
I really want to see a painted wolf, but yeah, nobody knows for sure.
I have another off-topic question. Why do you think that Anubis is a domesticated dog? You said
Because he
for sure.
is. No,
Okay.
he definitely is. So there's this paper that goes through it. Oh, I actually just downloaded it because I was thinking I would was like, I have to write this now. I can send you all this paper. It's free online, but I cut out just this part. It's really hard. For some reason, it's really hard to scroll and stuff. It's like flickers around a lot. But he just goes through all the argument. It's quite long, and it's in German. You know, what can you do? But he makes a very sound argument that these two things are distinct. The other things are like, if you look at, where should we look? Seti Temple, I think. Yeah, Anubis and Wefawet, or Opoi, as he should be called, are both pictured, and Opoi is consistently gray, Anubis is consistently black. So yeah, they're reliably distinguished by color. If you have a case where the color is very precise, there are plenty of cases where they're both depicted as black, but where you have these like really high quality polychrome things, they're distinguished by color, which suggests that they were perceiving them as different animals.
It just looked like gray Anubis.
So it's actually, so Opoi is actually the African golden wolf, which is commonly referred to as a jackal because it looks like one, but technically it's not. And yeah, this looks like this. It's quite cute. And it's this kind of, you know, you could see it as a sort of light gray or a beige color. They are never black. So that doesn't fly.
Cute, actually.
They are really cute. Dogs are black all the time, though. Egyptian species of dogs are black, and also the character of them. So I would adduce that as evidence, is that in character, Anubis is a psychopomp. He's a, you know, he's the equivalent of this old ad with the dog sitting on the coffin. It's quite routine to associate dogs with the deceased, especially because, you know, it's easily observed that like dogs will sort of wait on their masters even after they're gone. They'll like literally wait there for them in the same place every day.
Wait,
so
there's
like
a coffin in this thing?
Yeah, that's the dog sitting on a coffin, his master's voice, and the idea is that he's hearing his master from beyond the grave.
What?
Yeah,
Are you sure? Really?
I am 100% positive.
Wow. Okay. All right. That's the second part of the story I never heard. I thought it was just a recording of his master's voice. Huh. Okay.
No, his master is under his little feet.
Man, the stuff I learned in this class.
I know, right? Go look into it more if you don't believe me, or even if you do believe me, you know, go double check me on it by all means. But yeah, that's
Going to call a Snopes on that one.
do it. They purposely sort of cut the ad down so you couldn't see the sides anymore because a number of people thought it was crass.
Oh, wait a sec. That would really imply that they took a recording with a very new technology before somebody died, and then decided to play that back to a dog. That sounds a bit urban legendy to me. I don't know.
Let's dig into it. Maybe let's dig into it later.
Yeah, that's right. I like the one
by all
on
means.
Reddit, though. Scroll down a bit. That's cute. Next row down.
Oh, all the dogs in the theater.
Yeah.
This
Yep.
one. The guy had a lot of dogs before he kicked the bucket. It's like life goals here. Yeah, how could we? I don't know if there's a fast way to look this up, but we'll look it up later.
There is. The keyword is Nipper sitting on a coffin. Nipper with double P.
Is Nipper sitting on a coffin?
Yep.
Oh, false rumors.
Oh,
And of course, maybe they're just covering it up.
Yeah. Man, I'm so disappointed.
Sorry.
Oh, wow.
Where did I even
The
learn
myths.
that?
Yeah.
It totally looks like a coffin in that painting.
Totally
It
does.
does.
But apparently this guy never intended that.
Huh.
Man, this website is the oldest website I've been to in a very long time.
This has a distinct 90s feel to it. Yes, I agree.
It's
Yeah,
classic.
it is purely HTML.
Vintage. It is a vintage website.
Is it Geo
Okay.
or something?
Or
There
the
is
that
no
doesn't work.
any sign of CSS.
No. Yeah, it is just like raw, like brute forced HTML. Okay, so that doesn't work, but the association between dogs and like funeral context is pretty general. That's a pretty widespread thing that dogs are associated with the dead. These two guys have two totally different roles. Opwe is the opener of the ways. He like travels between the land of the living and the dead. He is very much sort of outside of the world of the living, kind of like running around out there. Anubis is not. He's not like separated from humans. He's very much a part of the human world. I'll have to go reread that paper, which I already intended to do, and kind of dig into it and go through his arguments.
Can you give us the link?
Oh, sure. I'll have to put it somewhere where I can share a link. But yeah, I can do that after this. Yeah, Anubis is a dog. I mean, it's really not. It's kind of one of those things where like, why do we think he's a jackal, and why do people advocate for that? And it's like, well, because somebody said he was. Well, who said he was? Did an ancient Egyptian person ever say he was? No, never, not at all. A modern Egyptologist said that, and then other people repeated it, and we're still repeating it everywhere you look. And you know, it's, as far as these things go, we have more than enough evidence to say that like, no, Anubis is a dog, Opwe is a jackal. They are distinct animals. They have distinct personalities, all the stuff. And really no reason to question it. If somebody had said that in the first place, then there would be no issue, because we have more than enough to view it that way.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't Anubis show next to the scales when the soul is weighed against the feather? So it doesn't really fit with the idea of domesticated, or maybe the guardian of truth, or.
And he guides the deceased there.
Okay.
That's what he does. He's a guide.
But wouldn't that be Webwawet rather than Anubis? I don't know.
Would that
It
be?
doesn't fit with the web of it, actually.
Yeah, that's a very Anubis sort of thing.
Especially the scene of Justice Day, or
Weighing the heart.
Justice Day. Yeah, because actually Anubis complete connected with the death, and
yeah, it's labeled sometimes too. It's frequently labeled actually as Anubis.
Yeah.
We know it's definitely Anubis. In terms of like whether that makes sense, to me it makes perfect sense. You know, he is the guide for the deceased. He's not really otherworldly. He's very much a part of the human realm. He's the person that people like embalmers would have dressed up as. They dressed up as Anubis, not as Opwe. Yeah, and for me, it was really this paper. Like it came up somewhere like a few years ago, and I found this source through Gardner, because I just like went straight to Gardner and I looked up the sign itself, and I said like, okay, what are our sources for understanding what the sign depicts? Because it is a hieroglyph, you know, so that's an easy place to look to see like, okay, what is this icon? And he says, you know, Anubis is a dog, and he cites this source. And I was like, what? Anubis is a jackal. Why does he say he's a dog? So then I went and looked up this source and read it, and I was like, oh no, he makes a really solid case actually. Anubis is a dog. And we really never should have thought that he was a jackal. That's just something somebody got wrong. And what's weird is that this is from 1904. So about more than a century ago that this thing was really thoroughly argued and should have died then and somehow didn't. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people argue with me when I point that out, and it's like, well, good, but
It doesn't matter actually. Those are in the same family.
I think it matters for, if you were to ask an ancient Egyptian person what kind of animal is associated with this god, if you were to tell them like, I think it's this thing, and they're like, no, that's that other guy that we don't really ever talk about. It's that thing that we don't really ever see. This is Anubis. He's our buddy. He's man's best friend. He's not that like nasty little animal running out in the desert. He's the good guy. He's the one who, holds your hand when you have to go on your final journey. He's a friend. That totally changes how you understand his personality. I think it does matter quite a lot, actually. Totally changes how you perceive Anubis. I don't know why people don't want him to be a dog, but I mean, aside from the initial reluctance of like, well, that's not what I was taught. Once you see it, it's like, yeah, he's a dog. Clearly he is. That's better. That makes way more sense. That movie with the dog who went to his late master.
Yeah, that Japanese dog. Oh, it's the dog's name. I can't think of.
Hachiko?
Yeah, that's it.
In front of Shibuya
Yep.
train station crossing.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, so sweet. Look at this friendly boy. There's a movie about this? How did they make a movie out of that?
There's a statue. Yep, there's a picture of the statue. Yeah.
Oh my God, I cried and I cried and I cried.
Yeah, I'm
Aw.
not gonna watch that movie. That sounds
No,
like a
no
real,
way.
real
Bearable.
tear jerker, that movie. It is so sweet though.
There's also a really good Futurama episode.
Where
Oh,
the
I
statue?
cried so hard that episode.
Where is this
What is-
statue? I don't get. I missed it actually.
Tell me, what do I need to know about it? Dog waiting.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Oh.
Saddest future role. Oh, okay.
I mean, it's the
All right.
same. It's the Hachiko story. The dog just waits for him for the rest of its life, just sitting, waiting for him.
Yeah. That really happens, So and we know that Egyptians love their dogs too. We have a tomb stela, like a tombstone for a dog. Can't remember what it's called. Egyptian dog stela. I bet it will come up right away. We read it in class one time. It's pretty famous.
Does it say wolf in hieroglyphs?
It just says, who's a good boy?
I think it does say things like that. I don't actually remember. It's been years since I've read it. But it does. It's
I really
very
wanted
like,
to say that.
it's very like, very personal.
Oh.
It's like, clearly this person really loved this dog. And see this, oh my gosh. Like, this is literally a thing about dogs in ancient Egypt. And it has like jackal headed, and then the head of a dog, kind of cephaly. People just get it really confused. People get it really mixed up. We have cat statues though. Yeah, we have lots of cat statues. They also had pet cats and really loved them. And they mummified them. Sometimes they were their pets. Sometimes they were like the temple. Just had a bunch of cats.
Actually.
Oh, there it is. The dog, which was the guard of His Majesty. Is this the one you're talking about?
I don't know which one I'm talking about anymore. Oh, here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is it. So we pretty much spent the whole day talking about dogs. But you know, when you got to, you got to. We also haven't spent any time yet talking about the hieratic specifically. I think the way we'll do that, so we're still going to move forward with a hieroglyphic transcription. And then at some point, we will work directly from the hieratic. We need to make sure, and like you need to start learning it now. So now that we have really clean signs, we can actually make sure that we understand what everything is. I mean, Radit, Ta, Ya, Ut, then that's, here is the Yaut sign. And then there is, this is the weird thing that happens. You get something like that when it's Y1 plus plural sign. And then there's an N. That one is pretty obvious. Falcon on a stick, we've talked about. The AA sign starts off being something like that, and it gradually just turns into sort of a plus sign. So that's definitely that here. And then the Y1 papyrus scroll, that's there. It often looks kind of something like that, like a Z. This I can't quite figure out. That N is not obvious. Well, okay. It maybe not, but it's there. This is, his foot ends here and the end
That
is
is
there.
small. Yeah.
The path T, I can't really figure out where the parts are. There's like clearly a T part down here. You know, we can
It's
see
two
the
E's. The first T goes, I mean, to the left of it, the first T goes into, yep, there you go.
I
It's
can't
just
quite
the-
figure out where the,
weird.
this one's weird.
It's
Normally
a-
it looks sort of like that.
Yep.
So yeah, something went wrong there in the process of writing it. Just got a little, I mean, you can see he's getting really into it.
Yep. Flourishes.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
Pretty fancy. Like our Victorian writing, you know?
yeah.
Those big, loopy. It's interesting the different forms that the W can take as well. Like in front of the bird on a stick, it's just this little, almost like you can see it on the, I guess from our perspective to the right, just before the bird on a stick. That's how it often looks. You can also see the T can get like an elongated form, just the T before it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So depending on where you're at, whether you're under a sign or whether you need the T as a standalone, it takes a very different shape.
Oh yeah, its shape is really all over the map. I mean, that's kind of why we tend to use that sign for the one that looks like this, or however it looks, kind of like this.
Mhm.
We use a little coil of rope. And then the one that is more like this, that one we would probably write with the quail chick proper. But it's difficult to say which one is which, because you can think about if you're writing this sign a lot and you extend the tail a little bit, you get this kind of shrinking quality where this part at the top kind of shrinks and then the tail ends up carrying down much longer like that. And then you get a shape that looks very much like this one.
Is there
So, yeah.
a difference in meaning between those two signs?
Not that we can tell, and almost certainly no. Okay, so we got our saw sign. We had our last falcon on a stick here.
Oh,
The
another one to point out, maybe we're just going to go there. When I first learned it, the thing that really struck me is how big the determinative stroke is. In hieroglyphs, it always looks like this little, oh, it's just like a little comma there. But in hieratic, it's often like full length, top to bottom, fairly thick. So that can trip you up. At least it did me when I first started out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really mean business with that stroke. And you can see why too. They want you to know it's there because you need it. Especially if you're writing something logographically in hieratic, where there's lots of ambiguity, you really need the person to know, like, no, that was it. That's all you're getting. So read what you got. And then that
Wow.
normally
Saw
gives
is
you.
that small. It's like just a little, I would not make that connection.
Well, you would have after you've seen it enough times.
Yeah.
Something like this.
But very true. I mean, in hieroglyphs, it's normally like the Sa duck is 3 times as big as the terminative. And here it's exactly, well, not exactly, but it's like
It's like a little tick.
very around.
Yeah.
No doubt. No doubt.
Is there such a thing? I feel like this is such a simplistic resource, which is exactly why I can't find it. Whenever I look at a paleography to try and get familiar with hieratic, I just find it so overwhelming. It's like if I had seen the alphabet for the first time, but instead of just seeing the letters, they show it to me in every possible font. Like, I just want a one-to-one. Like, I would like to see a list of hieroglyphic signs and an equivalent, like just an exemplar of the hieratic next, just to like become familiar with the shapes of them before you see every possible variation of it. Does that exist?
No, not yet.
Yeah.
It's something that a lot of people have been working on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't exist yet, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, this one's nice.
It does, but it does, but actually it is mostly complex. You know, something like Miller's paleographic list.
Right, but Aaron is
Yeah.
saying, is there one where you just get kind of like an
One-
archetypal?
I don't want to see 10 columns of this is what it looks like here and this is it. Blah, 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 blah. I just want a one-to-one, just a simple, like when Aurelio made that video, Aurelio, when you made that video, you know, with just the uniliterals, that was so helpful to me because I could see one, you know, like see.
Yeah,
that
there
bar.
is simple signs. Yeah, I have a PDF about simplified brief hieratic or something like that.
Well,
Have a
share
book. I'll send.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd love
okay.
Thank
I'll
you.
share this. I'll share this paper too. Claudia, you have a question? We have to go soon.
Yeah.
Please write the name and title of that book.
Yeah, I'll put them in the advanced chat. There's 2
Okay.
basically, both in Italian though, but they get pretty close to what you were looking for.
Okay, thank you so much.
Oh, I have one of those. The late Egyptian. Okay. Anyway, gotta go. See y'all next time, and we'll dig in more to page 2. Start looking at some more hieratic.
Page 2, woo!
Oh wait, we don't have class next week or the week after that, so it's going to be in 2022. Page 2 in 2022. You guys will survive. Go have Christmas with your families and friends. You can do it.
All right.
Okay.
I'll see you in 1 minute.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye, everyone.